What up, Space Fam? Goes in here for AnimeUproar, and today I'm going to be going over the 4 Yonko, aka the 4 Emperors of the Sea, and their powers. The Yonko are considered to be the strongest living pirates in the world. We will technically be talking about 5 Yonko since one replaced another, as we'll get into. I'm primarily doing this video because the topic excites me, but if you guys want to see more videos like this about the Warlords, the Straw Hats, or the Marines, let me know by smashing that like button and leaving a comment below. We have about 4 One Piece videos on this channel and they've all received excellent feedback, so it's about time for another one. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future videos. For daily anime facts and important updates, follow us on Instagram at AnimeUproar. There will be manga spoilers in this video. Now without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's start with Edward Newgate, aka Whitebeard, the man who was widely known as the strongest man in the world and the man closest to the One Piece after the Pirate King's death. At 72 years old, Whitebeard was one of the most epic old dudes in anime before his death in the Battle of Marineford, which was probably my favorite arc in all of One Piece. It's worth mentioning that like 2 other Yonko on this list, Charlotte Linlin and Kaido, Whitebeard used to be a member of the Rocks Pirates. They were led by Captain Rocks, and they were considered to be the strongest pirate crew until the rise of Gold D. Roger. The fact that at one point 3 out of 4 Yonko, who rule over the New World, were from this same crew shows how strong it must have been. Whitebeard possessed the Gura Gura no Mi, aka the Tremor fruit. The mangaka of One Piece, Eiichiro Oda, stated that this fruit was the strongest paramecia fruit. Sengoku proclaims at one point that with this devil fruit, Whitebeard has the power to destroy the world. The power lets Whitebeard produce shockwaves that can travel through practically anything, air, water, and land. The shockwaves can cause tsunamis and earthquakes. The shockwaves can be unpredictable, so allies have to be cautious around the user and not get in his way. Whitebeard was pretty much able to split an island in half, creating a giant chasm to separate the pirates, who were on one side, from the Marines, who were on the other. He uses the power to pretty much destroy the Navy headquarters. But the power is not limitless. The Navy has created walls stronger than steel that won't shatter as a result of the Gura Gura no Mi power. Whitebeard can create vibrations around himself to protect himself. Because of this ability, Aokiji can't freeze him. Whitebeard can concentrate his power into a small orb or quake bubble around his hand to increase its power. He can create contained but powerful explosion type attacks. He used this attack to beat a giant vice admiral with one blow. He destroyed his helmet like it was nothing. He can surround his spear with a quake bubble and use it to extend its reach. He can mow down enemies far away in this fashion. Perhaps the most interesting power is Whitebeard's ability to grab the air and pull it. By doing so, he tilted the entire battlefield at Marineford. Whitebeard can also use all 3 types of Haki, including Armament Haki, Observation Haki, and Conqueror's Haki, which is the rarest of all. Armament Haki allows him to increase his defense and attack, and allows him to injure Logia users that are otherwise immune to physical attacks. Observation Haki lets the user sense someone's presence when they're concealed or far away. Lastly, Conqueror's Haki is the most rare, only 1 in several million people have it. It allows the user to exert his willpower over others, which can cause people to straight up faint and animals to run away. Whoever possesses Conqueror's Haki possesses the attributes of a king, so you could say that they are a born leader. When Whitebeard was younger and stronger, his Haki was strong enough to match that of the Pirate Kings. Without even touching, the clash of Haki alone created insanely strong winds. Whitebeard did eventually die, but he remained standing nonetheless. He was old and sick, so despite how impressive he was at Marineford, we should keep in mind that that was not Whitebeard in his prime. Blackbeard stole Whitebeard's OP Devil Fruit along with his title of Yonko. Thus, in theory, he can learn to use all of Whitebeard's moves centered around his Devil Fruit. But he is still inexperienced and has not mastered the fruit to the extent that Whitebeard had. So let's look at Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard, and his powers in more detail next. Blackbeard is one of the most fascinating characters in anime. In the battle at Marineford, every side seemed to lose except Blackbeard, who managed to come out as the winner. He is 40 years old after the time skip, and he is the first person in history to wield 2 different devil fruits. Now that he possesses Whitebeard's power to destroy the world, along with his own dark fruit, he doesn't seem that crazy when he says stuff like, "I'm invincible and I'm the greatest." After he stole the power, he even proclaimed that his era was beginning, just like Rox had his era and Gold D. Roger had his. Blackbeard is all the more entertaining because there seems to be some truth behind his ridiculously ambitious proclamations. We went through the powers of the Gura Gura no Mi when we talked about Whitebeard, so let's focus on the Yami Yami no Mi, aka the dark fruit here. It is said to be the most dangerous power in the history of all devil fruit powers. It's a Logia type fruit, and it lets Blackbeard become a darkness man, allowing him to create, control, and transform into darkness. Blackbeard can use his darkness power to suck in an entire town. According to Blackbeard, his dark gravity power compresses objects with infinite power and crushes them. He can then release the wreckage from his darkness. Interestingly enough, the dark fruit doesn't allow Blackbeard to avoid damage like other Logia users. As he points out to Ace, the darkness sucks in everything, whether it's punches, blades, bullets, fire, or lightning. His body absorbs all pain, and that pain is even amplified in the process. But in exchange for that, the dark fruit lets him pull in the actual body of devil fruit users. And when he's touching them, he can absorb their powers. So when he punches Ace while holding him with his other arm, Ace can't use his flame fruit to avoid the attack. As we find out during the Battle of Marineford, Blackbeard can also absorb other people's devil fruit powers for himself, as we saw when he stole Whitebeard's devil fruit. Blackbeard is so powerful that he actually managed to give the Yonko Shanks the scars he has over his left eye. And Shanks insists that it wasn't because he was careless, it was because Blackbeard is that dangerous. Shanks even tells the legendary Whitebeard not to go after Blackbeard because of how dangerous he is. Out of all of the Yonko's bounties, Blackbeard's is actually the lowest at 2,247,600,000 berries. However, it should be noted that Blackbeard was often the one to understate and hide his true power. He willingly hid behind Whitebeard when it suited his purposes. In my view, Blackbeard's bounty, although high, does not adequately reflect how dangerous he actually is. It's also interesting to note that Blackbeard was powerful enough to be a commander for the Whitebeard pirates even before he had a devil fruit, but he declined, preferring to stay low-key for the time being. Blackbeard is able to use armament and observation hockey. Marco has also stated that Blackbeard's body is odd, and that maybe explains how he could use 2 devil fruit powers at the same time. People say Blackbeard doesn't even sleep. Blackbeard survived attacks from Ace, a confrontation with Shanks, a quake bubble around his head from Whitebeard, and more. And he survived without any significant lasting injuries. It's clear that his body is superhuman. However, what is perhaps even more dangerous about him is his mind. His ability to strategize makes him, in my view, very dangerous and very interesting. He was able to outsmart everyone. He set up events so that he'd be able to get the dark fruit, which he was willing to patiently wait for about 2 decades. The level of patience is insane, and all that time he was able to convince everyone that he was not ambitious at all. Then he became a warlord of the sea so that he could break some ridiculously OP people out of prison and add them to his crew. He set things up so that the pirates would fight the Marines while he swooped in to take Whitebeard's devil fruit powers when the old man was almost dead. He got his way, and he was smart enough to not fight Shanks when he showed up and ended the war. His mind and patience are what got him to this point. He's like a chess master on the world stage, and seeing his plans come together is one of the most interesting things about the entire series in my view. He is definitely a worthy villain for Luffy to eventually face off against. Next, let's look at Kaido of the Beasts, known as the strongest creature in the world. His bounty is 4,611,100,000 berries, the largest of any living pirate. People often say that if it's a one-on-one battle, Kaido will win, which is why he's known as the strongest creature. When Whitebeard was alive, Kaido actually tried to attack him, but Shanks interfered. Clearly, Kaido is not only strong, but brave as well, although I seriously doubt he's as good at strategizing as Blackbeard. He has one of the best introductions. He is introduced as a man searching for a place to die. We are told that he's been caught by the Navy or enemy ships no less than 18 times. He was tortured time and time again and lived as a prisoner. When they tried to hang him, the rope snapped. When put under the guillotine, the blade cracked. Then he attempted to kill himself by jumping off from Sky Island, but he survives. Not even Kaido can kill himself, that's how invincible he is. I don't know if there's been a better introduction to an OP character than this. Kaido isn't strong because he wants to be. He practically views his overpoweredness as an annoyance, which is pretty hilarious. He has a deserved reputation for being unable to die. The fight against Kaido and Luffy was a significant one. We are used to protagonists fighting, struggling, but ultimately overcoming their opponents. However, this is not what happens during this fight, not even close. Luffy hits Kaido with many attacks, and Kaido is ultimately not hurt by them. Then, Kaido hits Luffy with his club once, and Luffy is out cold. It's refreshing to see that pure willpower isn't enough to overpower a strong opponent sometimes. It doesn't happen often in shonen manga, but Kaido was able to brutally embarrass our shonen protagonist, and that shows how strong and special he is. Now let's get to his Devil Fruit, which is a mythical zone type fruit. It allows him to transform into a giant blue eastern dragon. He can shoot heat blasts from his dragon mouth that can cause devastating damage. When Kaido clashed with Big Mom, they both used Conqueror's Haki, that rare Haki that allows the user who possesses the qualities of a king to exert his willpower over others. As mentioned, it can straight up cause weaker-willed people to faint or large creatures to run away. Shanks, Whitebeard, Luffy, and others all also possess Conqueror's Haki, although Luffy's had no effect on Kaido. When Kaido and Big Mom clashed, the heavens split open, just like when Whitebeard and Shanks clashed. Interestingly enough, they seem to be pretty evenly matched in battle. They eventually decide to team up and take over the world together. After that, they plan to finish their fight to the death. Next, let's look at the 68-year-old Big Mom aka Charlotte Linlin, the Yonko who clashed evenly with the strongest creature in the world. Her own bounty is 4,388,000,000 berries. Big Mom definitely doesn't come off as calculating and patient as Blackbeard. She has been known to destroy entire countries over sweets. Almost everyone, including her own children, fears her when she's angry. Like Kaido, she was born powerful rather than trying to become powerful. When she was 5, she accidentally killed a large bear by smacking it, making Takamura from Hajime no Ippo look like a joke. She even broke the bones of a giant by trying to slap a mosquito. Like Kaido, her overpoweredness seems more like an annoyance than a goal. Even as a kid, she could break a skilled giant's sword with her fist and then defeat him. I could keep going, but you get the point. She's very, very strong. Her Devil Fruit is a Paramecia type called Soru Soru no Mi, aka Soul Soul Fruit. The fruit allows her to take the soul of whoever she touches and take years away from their lifespan. Obviously, if she takes enough years, the victim will die right then and there. The ability is super OP, but there is a loophole. If you have no fear of death or Big Mom, then it seems like you will not be affected by the Devil Fruit powers. She can also put souls into inanimate objects or animals. These new anthropomorphized beings are known as homies, and you can see them all around Toto Land. It's noteworthy that Big Mom cannot put souls into corpses or other people. The fruit can also produce little incarnations of pure soul that go around collecting and distributing souls for Big Mom. Big Mom used parts of her own soul to create 3 special homies that are far more powerful than the rest. These homies include Zeus, the thundercloud that is summoned by her left hand, Prometheus, the sun that is summoned by her right hand, and Napoleon, who takes the form of Big Mom's hat. The sun can create flames, the cloud can create lightning bolts, and together they can manipulate the weather. Her hat can turn into a blade that she can wield, or that can move and attack by itself. Her hat can also relay information to her that it receives from other homies. Zeus the cloud can be ridden on, and it allows Big Mom to travel at high speeds. Prometheus can also engulf Napoleon in flames, increasing the power of the sword. Furthermore, the sword can release powerful destructive shockwaves. In short, Big Mom and her powers are definitely larger than life. Big Mom can also use all 3 Haki types: Conqueror's Haki, Armament Haki, and Observation Haki. her armament haki can easily withstand a punch from Luffy's powerful 4th gear, aka Gear 4. Now let's get to red-haired Shanks finally. He's definitely one of my favorite characters and I love the way Oda has constructed him. Red-haired Shanks is currently 39 years old in the manga and he was 27 years old in chapter 1. He used to be a member of the Roger Pirates when he was younger, serving under the Pirate King himself. What fascinates me the most about Shanks is how Oda is able to build so much hype around him without revealing too much about his powers. We didn't see anything crazy from his 27-year-old self. Although we didn't know what it was back then, we did see him use Conqueror's Haki to scare off the Sea King after it took his arm off. Later when we see him approaching Whitebeard, his Haki power is enough to make many of Whitebeard's skilled pirates pass out. When Whitebeard and Shanks clash, just as when Kaido and Big Mom clash, they split the heavens, suggesting their otherworldly level of power. I know he was only 27 at the time, and was not as strong as he is now, but still, I love how such a strong dude chose not to absolutely wreck a weak bandit after he spilled a drink in his face. Here we have a guy who must be one of the strongest pirates in the world, even at the age of 27, and he let a random bandit make him look like a weakling, as Luffy put it. Even at 27, he had nothing to prove to anyone. He had no ego about the situation. He understood that needless killing doesn't make you a man. Just because that guy threw a drink in Shanks' face, it doesn't mean that he actually hurt Shanks in any way. Shanks understood that one can only be offended if they choose to be offended, and he was above all that at the young age of 27. Truly an amazing character and role model. Even as a 39-year-old, Shanks is the youngest Yonko, and I think I probably speak for most of us when I say that Shanks showing up and putting a stop to the war at Marineford was one of the most epic and amazing moments in anime. Albeit a lot of people were injured, but it's amazing how none of the Marines or even Blackbeard dared to challenge Shanks. If that doesn't set him up as being extremely powerful, I don't know what does. It's noteworthy that Shanks, even as a Yonko, could get an audience with the 5 elders, who are the public heads of the Celestial Dragons and world government. That is how much sway Shanks holds. We also saw that near the end of the battle at Marineford, he was able to effortlessly stop Akainu's punch with his sword and haki. We know that he was able to prevent fellow Yonko Kaido from attacking Whitebeard. Before he lost his arm, Shanks dueled Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world, and survived. What's more, Kaido has a devil fruit, Big Mom has a devil fruit, Blackbeard has 2 devil fruits, but Shanks doesn't possess any devil fruit powers. This just makes all of his accomplishments and his reputation seem all the more impressive. So that is what we know about Shanks. Not only can he use all 3 types of haki, he arguably has the most powerful haki. We've never seen him go all out, but that just builds all the more hype around his character. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Obviously, there is much more to be said about all of these characters, so if you want to see me go into detail on one specifically, let me know in the comments. And smash that like button because I'll start working on the next One Piece video as soon as we reach 5,000 likes. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss future videos for daily anime content, and to help decide what videos I make in the future, follow us on Instagram at AnimeUproar. A special thank you goes to our patrons over on Patreon who help us survive YouTube issues and who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank our the 1-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Steven Ingrata, Alola Natem, The World, Steelers, The School Bus, and Tyson Quarino. And I can't forget our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Fididala Beat, Anatoly Kazatsky, Alpha Dio, Angel Cruz, Team Sparky 65, Cricket XP, Rohan Kapoor, Jessica Maloney, Emperor Otaku, Timothy Edward Vargas, Gene Dark, Joe Stanton, and JCC Waka. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord, where we talk about anime, life, and of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also now join the YouTube channel and support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you will get the same great benefits. Thanks for everything, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboy.